The phone was dead. The battery had died. It was 2:37 a.m., and it hadn't died on its own. I had killed it, ripped out the battery with my bare hands. Why? Because there was no other way. What choice? What choice? The choice to stop the game before it was too late. But what does that even mean? Too late for what? Well, that's exactly what this video is about. Hi, I'm here. This is my channel, and this is my story. It all started when one of my best friends, Vanessa, or V for short, went missing. She disappeared without a trace. One minute she was here in our dorm room talking to me about her weekend plans, and the next minute she was gone, vanished into thin air. Her bed was neatly made, her things were untouched, and there was no sign of a struggle. At first we thought she had just gone out for a bit, maybe to get some fresh air, or to call her boyfriend, but she never came back. I remember waiting by the window, watching the sunset over the horizon, every minute ticking by like an hour, every hour feeling like a day. As the darkness crept in, so did my worry. By the time the moon was high up in the sky, I was pacing the room, whispering her name as if to coax her back. The night wore on, each tick of the clock a hammer blow to my hope. Then, around 2 in the morning, when the rest of the world was asleep, she came back. She was different. She wasn't the same V. She looked pale, shaken, and her eyes, they were wide and distant, like she had seen something that chilled her to the bone. She didn't speak much on the way back, and when she did, it was in a voice that sounded like it belonged to someone else. It wasn't her usual bubbly, energetic tone. It was flat, emotionless, like a puppet being controlled by invisible strings. She didn't explain where she'd been or why she'd left me hanging like that, and I didn't push her. I knew there was something wrong, something very wrong, but I also knew that whatever it was, she wasn't ready to talk about it yet. So I waited. I waited for her to come back to me, to tell me what had happened. But as the days turned into weeks, and still no explanation came, I realized I might have to take matters into my own hands. Our friendship was built on honesty, trust, and a shared love of spooky stories. So I thought starting with a good old-fashioned scarefest was the perfect way to bring my V back. I gathered all the ghost stories I knew by heart, the ones that made my skin crawl just thinking about them. We sat in the dark, just the two of us, and I told her tales of haunted houses, restless spirits, and eerie encounters. I could see her body tense up at each scary turn, her eyes wide and fixed on me. But as I reached the climax of each story, she would shake herself free of it and let out a shaky laugh. After a while, I tried switching to urban legends, those creepy tales that seem almost too real to be fiction. I told her about bloody altars, hidden creatures, and secret societies. But as I wove these modern myths, I saw a flicker of recognition in her eyes, a knowing look that sent shivers down my spine. She wasn't scared, not anymore. Instead, she seemed pulled in, fascinated by the stories I was telling, and then it hit me. No, this wasn't the V I knew. Whoever this was, it was attracted to the darkness, to the tales of the unknown. Fear didn't repel her. It intrigued her. That's when I decided to go all in. I dug deeper into the darkest corners of folklore, summoning tales that even I found disturbing. And as I spoke, I noticed her leaning closer, her gaze unwavering. It was as if the stories weren't just tales to her. They were anchors in a sea of confusion, pulling her back to the surface. Just when I thought I'd hit rock bottom, I pulled out the grand finale, the midnight game. They say whoever plays it brings darkness into their life, who welcomes it. In their darkest hour, they shall be taken by it. She listened intently, her eyes gleaming in the dim light. When I finished, she didn't laugh. Instead, she nodded slowly as if coming back to herself. It was like a switch had flipped in her mind from amusement to seriousness. Then she reached out, her fingers long and skeletal, and touched the book. The moment our skin made contact, a jolt shot through me. It felt like touching a live wire. Before I could pull away, she whispered, "Let's play." I hesitated. I knew the risks of playing the midnight game, but seeing V like this, I couldn't bear the thought of losing her, not to the darkness, not to whatever had taken hold of her, so I agreed. The ritual was simple: summoning the darkness with a candle, a book, and a willingness to open oneself to the shadows. But as we began, I saw a wild gleam in V's eyes, like a predator about to make its move. She wasn't playing to escape the darkness. She was playing to embrace it, to become it. The rules were clear. If you survive the night, the darkness chooses you. But V didn't seem afraid. In fact, as the minutes ticked by, she grew more excited, her eyes shining with an otherworldly light. I won't lie, I was scared. Really scared. But as I watched V, I couldn't help but be drawn into her enthusiasm. We read the ancient verses, lit the black candles, and waited. The air grew thick, heavy with anticipation. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it stopped. No sign of the darkness, no hint of its presence. Disappointment washed over me. Had we done it wrong? Was it too late? But V, she was different. Her eyes were filled with triumph, a smile playing on her lips. She looked at me, her gaze intense, and said, "It's here. Can't you feel it?" I did feel it, a cold presence looming at the edge of my vision, but I couldn't see it. Then V stepped forward, her hand reaching out as if to touch the darkness itself. "Let it in," she whispered, her voice echoing strangely. And in that moment, I knew I had to stop her. Whatever this was, it wasn't V. It was something dark, something dangerous. I lunged for her, desperate to pull her back from the edge, but it was too late. The darkness surged forward, enveloping her whole. For a moment, she struggled, her eyes wide with fear. Then they rolled back, her limbs going limp. And as the darkness consumed her, a single word escaped her lips. "Run." And I did. I ran from the room, from the house, from the town, anything to escape the nightmare I had become a part of. I haven't stopped running since. Now, some might say I'm crazy that I imagined the whole thing. But I know what I saw, what I felt. The midnight game isn't a myth. It's real, and so is the darkness it brings. Now, here's the catch. You can choose to ignore this warning, to think it's just another creepypasta, a scary story to keep you up at night. But if you do, don't come crying to me when the darkness finds you. If you want to know more about the midnight game, if you're brave enough to face the truth, read on. But be careful. The darkness is patient. It waits for its moment to strike. And once it has you, there's no escape. No. You might be wondering why I didn't tell you about this before. Why now? I couldn't risk it. Not everyone understands the gravity of what I'm talking about. Some wouldn't believe me. Others would think it's just a story. Only a few would understand the urgency, the need to get out before the darkness fully consumes you. That's why I waited, hoping to find a way to defeat it, to banish it back to the shadows where it belongs. But I haven't found a way yet. Maybe you can help. If you've played the midnight game and survived, if you've seen the darkness and lived to tell the tale, contact me. I need your help. Together, we might stand a chance against it. If you're one of the chosen, you already know what I'm talking about. The nightmares, the whispers in the dark, the feeling of being watched. You've tried to outrun it, to hide from it, but it always finds you in the end. There's power in numbers, they say, so reach out. Let me know you're out there. Let me know you're fighting too. Who knows? Maybe together we can find a way to break the cycle, to protect ourselves from the darkness, and maybe, just maybe, save each other. But remember, time is running out. The longer we wait, the deeper the darkness grows. So please, if you're out there and you understand, contact me. Together we might have a chance. But if you wait too long, the darkness will consume us all.